How to be a better business leader. I'm going to give you 5 specific steps. As entrepreneurs and business owners, we know that if we have a clear plan, anything becomes possible. And if you can have a clear plan, a clear process to create that plan, and a way to create clarity with your partner or spouse, you can drive to amazing heights. All right, good for you for reaching out and figuring out, I want to be a better business leader. Right on. I've been working as an executive coach and strategic advisor for many, many, many years. And the 5 key steps to becoming a much better leader are these. Number 1, and if you've watched any of my videos, you know I talk a lot about this, is having a clear vision. It's the primary obligation of the senior leader to have a clear, simplified vision of where the organization is going. This way you can unite everybody in a common vision. So the first step is number 1, a clear vision. The second step is making sure that your team and each individual member of your team is crystal clear on how they're accountable for helping to achieve that vision. So they know how are they contributing to that success, and there's some sort of metric or way that they know that they're winning or losing each week. So the first is vision. Second is clear accountability, so people know how they're contributing to that success and how they can track it. The third is transitioning from being a doer to being more of a coach, a teacher, a facilitator. Now, the reality is that the skills it takes to get from here to here are different than the skills it takes to get from here to here. And with most people, with most leaders, they've grown and they've gotten to that higher level because they were good at executing. But one of the key things that people need to transition from is transitioning from being the doer to the teacher, facilitator, and coach. So the example I like to use is something that's referred to as the victim triangle. But if you think of a triangle and you've got a victim, a persecutor, and a savior. Excuse me. If you have a new employee come in and they come in and they're curious, and like, I don't know what to do. Can you help me with this? Well, if they come to you and say, hey, boss, how do I do this? Well, compassionately, you want to help them. And you say, hey, all right, well, just go over here and do this, and you'll be all set. Well, and you can walk away as their savior saying, well, I helped them. But the reality is that what you did is you taught them that if they have a problem, to bring it to you. So if it's only one, not that big a deal. If you get 2 or 3 people like that, well, it starts to get a little bit hairier. And then, you get your own stuff going and suddenly you're buried and you have people coming to you all the time. Hey, how do I do this? Or what should I do here? How should I? And you're like, well, you do this and you do this and you do that. And all we're doing at that point is we're reaffirming that, bring your problems to us and we're going to solve them for you, but we're just going to be surly about it. And we start to become the victim. Where we're almost persecuting them. It's like, geez. And then finally we're like, why aren't you guys doing your job? Well, the reality is that we taught them to bring their problems to us, not to actually solve it. So instead, if you can coach people, if you can teach people to fish rather than give them the fish, how can you coach people up to help them look at things differently? So it's like, okay, well, how should you solve this? Where would you go? Where are the answers? How can you approach that? Even if you could answer it in 15 seconds, it's better to invest 5 minutes to teach them how to solve it so that they don't ever have to come back to you again. Now, it doesn't mean you're not available for questions, but I've had actually some senior leaders, CEOs, where I said, look, I want you to go this whole quarter without answering any question without a question, just to break that habit. It's tedious, but it does work. All right, so once you start transitioning to being more of a coach, more of a facilitator, it's going to help immensely. The 4th step for being a great leader, and how is it that you can become a better business leader, is making sure that, well, candidly, you model the behaviors you want to drive. If you want to drive timeliness, healthy communications, accountability, factors like that, which are very basic, and a lot of times these are the things that people complain that their people aren't doing, well, I'm going to encourage you to first look in the mirror. Make sure that you're modeling those behaviors as much as possible. How is it that you're showing up at every meeting, you're a cool hand Luke, super zen, ready to go? Early in advance, not 2 minutes late, frantic, because that energy is going to go for everywhere else. If you're always making sure that you're getting done what you have to get done, then it's going to give the example for your team as well that this is what you need. The last piece then is for you to always be learning. And this is something that great leaders really lean into. I personally try and invest 20% of my time always improving. And the fact that you're watching this video shows that, so thank you. But the idea is that how can you always be getting better? How can you be sharpening the tools? How can you model that behavior and show others that I'm pushing to learn, I'm striving to get better, I'm always working on trying to get stronger and stronger with these. So when it comes to figuring out how can I be a better business leader, those 6 steps: first, make sure you've got a clear, simplified vision, over-communicated, everybody knows. Second, make sure they're crystal clear on how they're accountable and how they're helping achieve that vision and how you're measuring their success. Third, transition to being more of a coach instead of a doer. Be that teacher, facilitator, and coach. Model the behaviors that you're looking for everybody to do. And then lastly, always be learning. So ideally you found some value. If you did, please, feel free to comment. You can always go to the aspiringsolopreneur.com. We have a full course to help people very safely transition to building their own businesses without ever actually having to spend any money to get started. So please subscribe to the channel. And again, thank you very much for investing the time. Keep smiling.